to Sacred Harmony, where innovation meets soul. Today, we are brewing something truly aromatic. Joined by Daniel Hartshorn, co founder of ScentXpresso, a brand that's redefining how we experience wellness through scent and routine. We'll dive into how nature, business, and inner alignment can stir up a new kind of lifestyle. One that smells like clarity and tastes like purpose. Welcome to the show, Dan. It's an honor to have you.
Thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure to meet you. I'm really excited for us to be here today. So thank you for having me.
Mhm. So, Dan, how did the idea of Scent Espresso come about? And was it born from a personal need, a market gap, or something more intuitive?
That's a great question. And truthfully, it was built from a personal need. I would love to take the credit for the idea, but I can't and I wouldn't because it's actually my genius co-founder, Wen Navala. Um, so the idea came from personal need. Myself, Wen, and my other co-founder, Chris, we played quite important roles in a company called Meter, which was the world's first wireless smart thermometer. So over a period of 10 years, we built that business up with the team that we had. We built it to over 100 million in revenue. It was actually purchased by a much larger American company. And as part of that kind of due diligence, that acquisition, that continued handover, it took all three of us really, really close to burnout. And so the idea for the ScentXpresso, it actually has its roots in our own struggle with burnout and to maintain wellness in a busy social and working calendar. Um, the actual genus of the idea came to Wen. So Wen's traditional method of relaxation was to have a really, really hot bath, leave her phone outside the bathroom, have a really hot bath with some essential oils to kind of make it a fully immersive experience. Unfortunately for poor Wen, she was actually on a business trip and she had her essential oils with her, but there was no bath in her hotel room. And being the wonderful person that she is, her thoughts immediately went to the technical of how she could get that same level of relaxation without having a bathtub. And that's truthfully where the genius of the idea came from.
100%. And what part of your personal journey most shaped your vision for the brand?
I think it's hard to look in isolation and say too much individual items shaped the whole, because actually we have to look at it on the whole, and so much of it shaped our vision for this brand. You know, when we think of what we wanted to do was to provide relaxation and wellness opportunities for people who are really, really time poor. The other things that kind of pressed us into this was our own appreciation of the intersection between natural remedy and where technology can improve and alleviate that. And the other parts that have kind of guided the brand and guided what we're doing is who we are as people, what impression we want to leave on the world and what we want to do to make things better for people that, well, people on the whole, but people that we use our product. So apologies, I know that's quite a hard, a vague answer, but I think when you look at everything that's combined to create this brand as it is and where we will take it in the future, we have to look at it from a holistic viewpoint of our shared experience and what benefits and our morals and what we want to bring to the world.
Yeah, and I imagine that kind of origin must carry a lot of emotional weight. It's more than product, it's presence.
Oh, it's our everything, Anya. We've put our heart and soul into this so far, and we will continue putting our heart and soul into this. This is not a this is not a job for us. This is a mission. This is a raison d'etre. This is why we are here and what we want to
Mhm. Absolutely. And we often see scent as an accessory, but you treat it as a tool. How do you believe aroma affects our mental state and daily focus?
That's such a fantastic question. Thank you for asking me. Um, so Aroma affects us in every permutation of our lives and our being. It acts as an indicator for, even on a like a base animalistic level, it can act as an indicator for danger. It can act as an indicator for something that is good or something that is positive. When we look at the links between scent and memory, I don't know about you, but there are certain smells that for me trigger this evocative rush of memory of where I was and what I associate that scent with. And so these are kind of the key factors on that side. But then we can also look into and analyze, as we have and are doing, the actual physiological effects that scent can have. For instance, lavender is it's scientific. There are scientific studies that have shown lavender reduces cortisol. When we look in terms of antibacterial properties, antimicrobial properties, the scent goes so far beyond just smell, right? It's intrinsically linked to memory. It's intrinsically linked to all of the systems that our body has on so many levels beyond just that initial, oh, that smells nice, or that doesn't. So I think that's an incredible question. Thank you for asking.
And that's amazing. Can scent actually help regulate stress or productivity in measurable ways?
100%. Okay, 100%. I mean, there are numerous studies that have been released because when we talk about stress, what we can really talk about is cortisol. And so, when we think about cortisol, because that is actually measurable, we can actually see the scientific studies of where cortisol has been tested and shown a reduction. So, for instance, lavender has actually had a really massive impact on cortisol reduction, and that's been tested. I'm trying to remember the study, but I think it was by someone called Huang, and it showed a 20% reduction within the first 40 minutes of exposure.
And that challenges the typical wellness narrative. Maybe we are missing the simplest anchor in our environment.
Absolutely, absolutely. Like as a species, we have a full sensory palette, but often smell does tend to get overlooked, but it's actually one of our most powerful senses that's been ingrained into us through years and years of evolution.
Right. And how do you balance the dual roles of entrepreneur and conscious creator? Do they ever conflict?
Hmm. I've never thought about that question. Do my roles as entrepreneur and creator? I think not. I think because we are mission led, and our mission is to create this product for the betterment of society, for the betterment of people, and to democratize aromatherapy for the time poor. I don't think at this juncture in our journey there is too much of a conflict. I think the sometimes where there may be a difficult question to ask is we want to release something that is absolutely fully perfect, polished, and is the best thing that it can be. Now, obviously, there are constraints on a new company that you do have to release something, if that makes sense. But thus far, thanks to my amazing team and my wonderful co-founders, we haven't had that point where we've had to make a choice between the two, thankfully. And long may that continue. I hope that I can come back on your podcast in 20 years' time and say we never had to make a choice between those two.
That's great. And what do you do when the business demands seem to overshadow the wellness intention behind it all?
Again, you have some fantastic questions, Anya. Thank you. Um, so, I will answer this truthfully, as I will also answer any question truthfully. There have been times where the needs of the business have perhaps overshadowed our wellness as co-founders. I think a prime example would recently be Kickstarter. We launched on Kickstarter on June 4th, and the campaign ran for a month. And truthfully, it was an exhausting month because there was long hours. We needed to be constantly on and available to answer any questions. And I think during that time, we all got less time to relax and reflect than we would normally have liked. But I think that is superseded by the fact that our purpose for doing that was to bring our product and show it to the world, or at least in the case of this one, the users on Kickstarter. And it was a time, it was a period of time that was set. It was not an ongoing indefinite period of time. But one of the things that we have learned from our previous experience and what we are trying to apply into our company with our product ScentXpresso is wellness starts with us. We cannot advocate and become an authority and share with people how to relax and empower them to relax and be present and mindful if we don't practice these things ourselves. So a key part of our structure, our company structure is, yes, we want to work hard and we will deliver this product, but we also need to make sure that we take the time and smell the flowers. We take the time, and one of my co-founders is learning pottery. For myself, that moment of time is spending time with my daughter. And we need to make sure that we provide that wellness for ourselves, because if we don't, then how can we in all good conscience offer other people a solution and the opportunity to relax and rest and reflect?
And I think many listeners will resonate with that. How to grow something without losing your grounding.
Yeah, I think it's a really core question.
And with wellness trends shifting fast, how do you stay innovative without becoming just another product chasing hype?
So I think that's an interesting question, and I would love to answer that question again in 2 years' time. Because where we are on our journey as a company, we are starting out. We at this moment in time, it is how we become front of mind. We don't have a worry about being relevant or remaining relevant, because our goal has got to be to touch and to reach out as many people as we possibly can to make them aware of what we are doing. I think when you look at the broader societal kind of system, when we talk about relevance, the conversation around wellness and health and stress reduction has never been more relevant than it is today. And the beauty of, well, it feels weird to say that stress is beautiful, because it's not. But the situation we find ourselves in is that this awareness and this focus is continuously growing as we evolve as a species. And so for us, what we want to be able to do is offer a new opportunity, a new way that people can use technology and the finest attributes and ingredients that nature can provide in a natural and sustainable way, and give that power to our users.
Definitely. And have there been moments where you had to say no to something that looked profitable but didn't align?
I think absolutely. I think a key example for us would be the essential oils themselves, right? You know, when you search online or when you look at essential oil providers, the spectrum of pricing is incredibly vast. Some are really, really cheap and some are super expensive. And actually, the reason behind that is how they are produced, whether they are organic, whether they are natural farmed like ours, and what the quality of those oils is. So for us, we've made a conscious decision. We will only use the highest quality natural farmed oils. Now, those oils, they are substantially more expensive to buy, but that is because the quality and the sustainability and the ethicalness of them is absolutely incredible. And so for us, it was a case of, because we don't want to pass all expense directly on to our customer, right? We want our customer to be able to relax and not have the monetary pressure of that. So we made kind of an active choice that we would use the best quality natural farmed essential oils, but we wouldn't charge the highest price point for
Yeah, and that kind of integrity is rare in today's market. It's what builds trust that lasts.
We certainly hope so, because for us, we believe in this product. We believe in what we're doing. We're users of this product, and we have never been anything but who we are. And so this is why it fits so nicely for us, because we can just be ourselves. We don't have to put on a front or show a polished corporate veneer. I can be Dan, my co-founders can be Wen and Chris, because we really believe in this product and what we're doing. So we don't need to sell or put this polished veneer on. We can be who we are.
100%. And what role do you believe scent and sensory design could play in future mental health or mindfulness spaces?
I think that's a great question. And I think when we look at what we are doing, the traditional model for diffusion has been it's to make a space smell nice. Like it's been to make your room smell of a particular scent or a particular fragrance. We're actually not trying to do that. What we're trying to do is a more direct and localized application of scent. And to kind of show that the positive impact that has on people's stress levels, people's cortisol levels, even going as far as to say, this doesn't just have to be purely relaxation. This can be an energizing morning with a citrus scent, or, if you have congestion, you have a cold, you can actually have a eucalyptus scent, which would kind of clear your airways. But I think the key thing for me about what we're trying to offer and what we will be offering is scent has kind of, in the past, it has sat more towards the art side than the science side, if that makes sense. And I think what we can do quite elegantly is we can bridge that gap to show definitive and empirical evidence of what works for people and how it works for people and how it can improve their life.
Yeah, and can you envision your work being used in therapy rooms, meditation pods, or even hospitals?
100%. 100% we can see it being in use there, but our first priority is to talk directly to our audience. I think a lot of times people get caught up in this thing of, well, if we can be in therapy rooms and everything, and yeah, we want to do that because we want to provide benefit to as many people as possible. But our core priority is to benefit people directly, to benefit the people who have backed us on Kickstarter, to benefit our audience that have found our product and want to see it work. So our first priority is always to be going to focus on providing the best possible experience to the individual, because you are your ultimate guide on your own wellness journey. You can take advice, and you should take advice. You can learn, you can take guidance, but ultimately you are steering your own ship. If you decide on your destination, you are the person that is responsible to drive it there. You can have support, and we want to provide that support, but ultimately we want to be in direct contact with with you, Anya, with our friends, with our users. This is our ultimate priority.
And now that opens a deeper conversation where lifestyle meets healing in profound, maybe even clinical ways.
Yeah, I mean, it does open a deeper conversation there, and I'm really glad that we can open that deeper conversation, because I think it needs to be front of mind for everybody globally, right?
Definitely. And from fragrance to focus, Daniel reminds us that wellness isn't just what you do, It's what surrounds you. If this episode sparked curiosity, take a moment today to notice your senses, breathe intentionally, and explore how your environment shapes your energy. And until next time, stay grounded, stay inspired.